The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the midst of one of their most active off-seasons in recent memory as they prepare for the 2025 NFL season. Although they've made several key moves to strengthen their roster, the most critical position remains uncertain: quarterback. This lingering question at the helm of their offense has overshadowed other developments, but the organization is actively working to position themselves for a successful season, with more moves potentially on the horizon. As the 2025 NFL Draft draws closer, there are a number of decisions looming over the Steelers, and one of the most talked about is the future of wide receiver George Pickens. The talented but controversial player has displayed flashes of brilliance on the field during his first 3 seasons in Pittsburgh. However, off-field issues have raised concerns about his long-term future with the franchise. Despite his undeniable potential as a playmaker, it seems increasingly likely that Pickens may not be wearing the Steelers' colors much longer. Pickens is approaching the final year of his rookie contract, making 2025 a critical year for both him and the organization. After his impressive performances on the field, Pickens became eligible for a contract extension following the 2024 season. But as of now, no new deal has been struck. If the Steelers don't work out an extension or apply the franchise tag before the start of the 2025 season, Pickens will become an unrestricted free agent, and his future with the team will be in jeopardy. The Steelers have been actively looking to bolster their roster, and the recent trade for wide receiver DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks signals the team's desire to secure a top-tier receiving threat. However, this move has left many wondering about the implications for Pickens. The acquisition of Metcalf could be seen as a direct indication that Pickens' days in Pittsburgh are numbered. While some fans and analysts view this as a sign that Pickens may be expendable, others argue that trading him could be a costly mistake for the team. Steelers insider Ray Faldo recently shared his thoughts on Pickens' future during an appearance on 93.7 The Fan, a local Pittsburgh radio station. When asked about whether Pickens would be on the roster for the 2025 season, Faldo offered a cautious answer. "I'll say yes for now," he said, acknowledging that Pickens is still likely to be around for the upcoming season. However, he also stressed that there is a lot of time between now and the start of the season, and much could change in the coming months. Faldo's remarks reflect the uncertainty surrounding Pickens' future with the Steelers. While it seems that the wide receiver will start the 2025 season in Pittsburgh, the team's decision-making process is far from settled. The potential for trade discussions or even a decision to part ways with Pickens could intensify as the season approaches, depending on how negotiations for an extension or a new deal evolve. One aspect of the situation that is especially relevant is the Steelers' past attempts to upgrade their wide receiver group. In the lead-up to the 2024 season, Pittsburgh desperately tried to land a top-tier receiver but fell short. This left them relying on a somewhat thin receiving core, with Pickens as the lone standout talent. Now, with Metcalf in the fold, the Steelers are more equipped at the position, but they could find themselves in a similar position if Pickens is the only other high-quality option on the roster. The situation is complicated further by the fact that both Pickens and Metcalf would represent a substantial investment in the receiving game, leaving the Steelers with limited resources to address other areas of need. This makes trading Pickens a potentially wise move. If the Steelers do not expect to reach an agreement on an extension, it could be in their best interest to deal Pickens while his value is still high. The team could acquire additional draft picks or valuable assets in return, which would help them build for the future. If they wait until Pickens is on the verge of free agency, they risk losing him without gaining anything in return. While some may argue that trading away a young talent like Pickens could hurt the team's immediate prospects, the Steelers could view this as an opportunity to maximize value and secure additional assets for the future. The decision facing the Steelers is a difficult one. On one hand, they could choose to keep Pickens and hope that he can remain focused and continue to develop into a star receiver. On the other hand, they could trade him now, taking advantage of his current value to build the team for the long term. Either way, the Steelers face tough choices as they navigate the 2025 offseason, and the next several months will likely be filled with speculation and drama. What's clear is that the clock is ticking for Pickens in Pittsburgh. His behavior issues, combined with the team's changing roster dynamics, put him in a precarious position. The Steelers' front office will have to weigh the risks and rewards of keeping or trading the young receiver as they look to improve their team for the 2025 season and beyond. In the coming weeks, as the draft nears and the roster takes shape, the fate of George Pickens will likely become one of the most talked about storylines in Pittsburgh. Will the Steelers bet on his potential and attempt to negotiate a new deal, or will they look to trade him and move on to a new chapter? For now, all eyes are on Pickens, as the Steelers